Tuesday betting preview edition of Pucks Across Borders on Sports Addict Live and Total Apex Sports, brought to you by the one, the only First Round Collectibles. Right now with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off dozens and dozens of cards. And with our promo code Sports Addict, you get 10% off not only regular price items, but sales items as well. 20 becomes 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60. You get the picture. Head over to firstroundcollectibles.com today. Use promo code Sports Addict on any card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. Hockey, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, boxing, whatever it is, they have it. Go to firstroundcollectibles.com. That's the number one. STRoundCollectibles.com, FirstRoundCollectibles.com, promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Welcome to this Tuesday betting preview edition of Pucks Across Borders on Sports Addict Live and, of course, Total Apex Sports, brought to you by First Round Collectibles. Promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. It's late, dude, but we're doing it. Can't do a show on Tuesday for various reasons. We have lives. Things come up. We got to do what we got to do, but we're both up. We're ready to go. You've been watching sports. I've been watching sports. Also, my son puked all over himself and has been up all night. So we're up and we're doing this thing. We're going to go through every game, or at least our takeaways from Monday night, and of course update you on everything that happened and give you a full betting preview of Tuesday's games. But first, as always, Andre, how you doing on a late Monday night?
Well, let's see. The Knicks blew a 13-point lead at home. The Giants exist and had to play on a Monday. The Yankees are down 3-0 in the World Series. Must be doing fantastic. All things considered, I'm fine. You know, it's sports. It's not the end of the world. There's more important things in life, is what I would say if I were a liar. Get it together.
Exactly.
Win Game 4 tomorrow. Get Cole on the mound for Game 5. Get it back to LA. Anything can happen. Let's go.
That's the attitude, bro. That's all you can do, man. And like, listen, we're gonna talk about it. I know you want to talk about it, but I'm just gonna say it now. Yes, the World Series, it's the creme de la creme. I understand what's at stake. Yes, football is the universe in the United States. And yes, the New York Knicks are full of all this optimism, and the inevitable just seems, I understand it. But Utah blew a 4-1 lead to the San Jose Sharks with 5 minutes left in the game. So I know the stakes aren't as high, but I don't know. That's tough, man. That's tough. The San Jose Sharks aren't the Dodgers, you know what I mean? But quickly, here we go. Before we get into all of it, let's do a quick breakdown. First of all, speaking of choking leads, the Carolina Hurricanes up 3-3 or up 3-1 with like 6 minutes left. It's now 3-3, and I'm kicking myself because Canucks plus 2.5 was minus 115. Canucks to win the game was plus 1,400, and I'm a coward, as we established this morning. We're both cowards on this Monday, and I took the plus 2.5 Canucks rather than a straight up money line. So, you know, it is what it is. Calgary Flames getting thumped by the Vegas Golden Knights 5-0. There's 2 minutes left in that game. With the games that are already done in the bag. The Florida Panthers destroy the Sabres 5-2. I think you called it 5-2. The Panthers beat the Sabres. The Oilers lose an ugly game to the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets just aren't slowing down, man. This team is scoring goals left and right. They win 6-1. The game was 3-0 before it even started. Connor McDavid goes down in the first period. It does not return to the game. And the Oilers just never found their footing, lose against the Blue Jackets 6-1. Then you have the Predators, and we said it this morning. They beat Chicago. They beat Columbus. They go down 2-0 in both of those games. They can't do that against the Lightning. And they did. They go down 2-0 to the Lightning. They come back, tie it up 2-2. They get the point, but they do lose in overtime to Tampa Bay 3-2. Chicago Blackhawks beating the Avalanche 5-2. That game was 2-0 before it even started. And then you have the San Jose Sharks losing 4-1 with 5 minutes left, come back, tie it up, and win in overtime. Andre, wild night. I know you had your eyes on a million different things. The sports, what do they call it? The sports.
Oh, sports equinox. That was
the equinox. Yeah, sounds like some sci-fi thing, some weird thing. But yeah, what do you got, man? I know you had your eyes on a million different things, but what's your takeaway in the NHL on a Monday night?
I have said many times in this young season and in the off season, the San Jose Sharks are not going to open this season. They did it this year. I think it wasn't going to happen again this year. I was adamant. I repeated it several times. They made me look foolish 9 times. But here they were in game 10. And just when it was about to hit 0, the clock was going to strike midnight. They were going to make me look like an absolute fool. They pull a rabbit out the hat. Not 1, 3 times in less than 5 minutes. Force OT, get the OT winner. 90 seconds in, the Sharks have a 2-point game in the bag. They are on the board. They're in the win column. Shout out to you, San Jose. I love you. You will not finish last this year. You will beat the Ducks. This is the start. Thank you.
You got to start somewhere. And you cut off there. I just want to say that you did say pull it out of their hats and not another word that sounds like hats if it was chopped up. You know what I mean? The other word for you know.
Rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah.
Foot's the other thing if you're a Yankee these days. But
that's right. So, I mean, as far as me for a takeaway, I mean, there's a couple of different places to go. The Flames, super disappointing outing. But Vegas is a juggernaut, and the Flames, you know, I never thought they were going to win the division, but I do think they're going to be competitive. And tonight, just they didn't have it from the drop. The Oilers, like, dude, like, I get it. Connor McDavid gets hurt, but 6-1 against Columbus. I know the Leafs lost 6-2 to Columbus last week, but that wasn't right either. I'm worried about this Oilers team. Officially, you have Georgie in Colorado. A Noonan comes in, wins a bunch of games, stealing your spot right from underneath you, and you let the Blackhawks go up early, and the Avalanche never recovered. I got to go, though. I got to go to my Maple Leafs, man. I have to. I don't like to go to the Leafs in best bets or in takeaways because everyone knows I'm a Leaf guy. I write about the Leafs. You can read my articles and you can know what I think. But I got to say this, man. Awful last 3 games. On Monday night last week, you go and have one of your best games that I've seen you play in a decade. And you promptly follow that up with 2 at least awful losses. Play better against Boston on the weekend, but still lose it in embarrassing fashion. Monday night, again on Amazon Prime here in Canada, and you go to Winnipeg and beat the undefeated Winnipeg Jets 6-4. You were up 4-1, then 5-2. It got a little dicey there for a little bit, but you end up winning the game 6-4. Am I choppy, by the way? Are you hearing me okay? Or that might just be my headphones or my computer. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
I thought it was my headphones, so
But listen,
it's awkward.
you go in, you go up 3-0 in the first period. You go into the back half of the second period up 5-2. 5-on-5, the Leafs absolutely dominated this game. We all knew that the Jets, eventually they're going to lose. They're not going to go 82-0. But I was just really impressed. The Leafs have had a lot of pressure on them over the last week. This is a very loud city. When the Leafs go a whole week without winning, the sky is falling. William Nylander hasn't had a point in the last 3 games. Neither has his whole line, Max Domi, Bobby McMahon. I thought, Nylander scored tonight like I predicted. If you caught that plus 195 odds for him to score, good for you. Congratulations. He got a goal tonight. And the Leafs looked phenomenal, 5-on-5. What I thought was interesting was all 4 goals were with the extra man for Winnipeg. 2 of the goals were on the power play. The third goal was a pulled goalie for a pending power play. And the fourth goal was at the end of the game with the pull goalie for the extra skater. So all 4 goals by the Jets were with the extra man. And like I said already, 5-on-5, the Leafs absolutely dominated that game. And this is what we need to see. It wasn't good enough to just squeak out a 6-4 win that you didn't deserve. The Leafs absolutely deserved this game. Stolarz, even though he only made like 19 saves on 23 shots, he made some massive saves to keep this team in the game. The Jets made their push, man. The Jets are a good team. They're going to make a push, and they did. But really impressed with what the Leafs did. John Tavares, the hat trick, won the last goal on the empty net. Great job by him. And Max Pacioretty, man, he got himself 2 points, maybe 3, at least 2 points. And it's the old guard that got the job done for Toronto tonight. So huge win for them. They get the day off tomorrow. They come back later in the week, and I forget against who. I should probably know this. They play on Thursday against the Kraken back home in Toronto. So huge win for them. The Nashville Predators, the Winnipeg Jets, no longer unbeaten. And it was at the hands of my Maple Leafs. Now, they're wearing a jersey that was designed by Justin Bieber. So maybe that's something, maybe the Biebs has to be like more involved. I'm sure that conversation's ongoing right now, but that's my takeaway from Monday night.
Justin Bieber,
Justin Bieber. Yeah. He designed. Yeah. Now, I don't know if he designed it personally. I'm sure he has some influence. It was his company, whatever his clothing company is called. I don't know. But yeah, they do like the on ice is like the black and blue, and then the warm up is like, gray and yellow, and the Maple Leaf has like a smiley face on it. I don't know. But Justin Bieber, man, getting involved. Hometown kid. That's what it's all about. All right, moving on. We have 7 games in the NHL tomorrow night, starting with Minnesota in Pittsburgh. The Minnesota Wild minus 128 in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Penguins plus 106. Minus 1.5 for the Wild is plus 190. Plus 1.5 for the Penguins, minus 235. The over 6.5 at plus 100. And the under is minus 122. 2. Minnesota Wild, of course, fresh off their first regulation loss on Saturday. Andre, what say you, man? Minnesota, Pittsburgh. I have a feeling this could get ugly for a certain team.
Yeah, I just want to take a moment to give thanks to the Penguins for being a model of consistency in the early parts of this season. 10 games played, 42 goals allowed, 4.2 per game. They've allowed at least 3 in every single game. And at this point, it's basically 4+ in every game. They allowed 3 to 2 teams. 2 of their 3 wins were 6-3. Otherwise, it's been 4+. That being said, Minnesota Wild right now are plus 115, score over 3.5 goals. Gotta love it. That's 80% of Pittsburgh's games right there where it's happened. The Wild are playing very good hockey in the early portion of the season. They're 5-1-2. I know they just lost their first in a few nights ago, but they did light the lamp 5 times. This is a team, especially offensively, that's playing pretty well. They're averaging 3.63 goals per game. They're 9th in the league. So that's my favorite bet from this game. Obviously, take the over when the Penguins are involved. At this point, they have to prove that's not the standard, if you will. And I'm going to take the Wild to bounce back with a win. Not only a win, I'd probably take that block line or that 60-minute line, just the way the Penguins are playing, especially empty net scenario if they're trailing late, because they can't stop anybody.
It's awful, man. Like, I watched that game against Vancouver Saturday night. I watched the whole thing because the Jets and the Flames had to be on at the same time as the Leaf game for some stupid reason, even though it was in Calgary. I'm not bitter about it still. But like, Pittsburgh made their push at the end, but they had no business being within a goal of that hockey game. It's bad over there, man. And I feel bad because, like, you look at the roster and, like, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, like, bona fide Hall of Famers, man. They'll be in the Hall of Fame the minute they all retire. And it sucks watching this go down. I know that we goof on them and we, but as, like, a hockey fan, and I know as a Rangers fan, you feel differently, but as a hockey fan, like, I want to see greatness, do well. I want to see Crosby back in the playoffs. Even if he loses to the Rangers, that's fine, but I want to see them do well. And this is tough to watch. Bloomquist, pretty good young goaltender. He made some huge stops against Vancouver to keep the game 4-1 for as long as he possibly could. But I don't care how promising your goaltending is if you can't defend. Like, their defense is absolutely brutal right now. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure Peterson, his plus minus is just through the roof. It's really tough out there. I'm with you, man. I'll take Minnesota money line. I'll take Minnesota puck line. Also, Kaprizov, anything he touches, man, take him to score a goal, take him to get a helper, take him to get over 1.5 points, whatever it is, take it. Because that guy is off to a phenomenal start. 3 goals, 11 points to start the year. And one of the more underrated stars in this league. Something that I've completely not related to this game at all, I forgot to mention, Kyle Connor for Winnipeg. That guy is super underrated as well, man. Watching him play tonight, he was the only one that was like, hey, are we gonna win this game or what, boys? So that's completely unrelated. But yeah, Kaprizov, just pick him to do whatever, and he'll probably get it done.
Just real quick, do you know how many times Crosby's faced the Rangers in the playoffs?
A lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Do you know the exact number?
I don't.
It's 27. I'm tired of seeing that, man. Get him done.
I was thinking series, but you're going on like actual games. 27 games. Oh, that's pretty wild.
Series. I don't know if I can count that high. It's too much math for me. It might be 28, honestly. But yeah, that's my point. I'm tired of seeing that, man. I know he's a Canadian and you love him and blah, 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 blah. You can love him in retirement. Get him out of here.
Oh man, the golden goal, bro. The golden goal. Captain of Team Canada at the Four Nations. What everyone's dying to see. Can't wait.
Has to say about it.
Speaking of what people are dying to see, the Philadelphia Flyers won a hockey game, taking on the Boston Bruins. Boston Bruins minus 196 at home. Philadelphia Flyers plus 162 on the road. Plus one. This is a really good thing about doing this show at like 1 a.m. is the odds don't change. So at least I know what I typed in here will actually be what I'm reading off my screen. Minus 1.5 for Boston is plus 134, plus 1.5 for Philly, minus 162. The over is 5.5, minus 140, and the under is plus 114. What do you got, bro? Philadelphia, Boston tomorrow night.
Well, just real quick update. The Canes won 4-3 in OT. So they did end up pulling it out, even though they tried their best not to. Moving on to this game, you said it best. The Flyers, they finally, not only got a win at home, and got offense at home, 7 goals, and they followed it up by losing to the Canadiens. So they're a mess right now. They won their opener, and then it's just been a string of losses besides that Wild game. And I mean Wild because they played the Wild, not Wild because it was 7-5. So going to Boston now, you would think, hitting the road, they've been better there all year, especially offensively. That would bode well for them. And it might. I think that's why I'm going to take the over in this game. The Flyers have scored 3+ goals in every road game this season, even though they've only won one of them, even though they only have 3 points in those 5 games. The offense has shown up. That's been a bigger concern for them dating back to last year. The PK is going to be so getting stops and goal prevention tends to come easier for that group. As far as picking a side, though, it's hard to trust them. It's hard to trust Philly right now. I don't really like that puck line, the 16-minute line. I'm not really confident in either players, though, so I think I'm just going to take the over. Trust this to be like a 4-3 game. And, if either team loses, I'll be okay with it. So why not?
Yeah, I don't have alternate totals yet on FanDuel. Right now, the 5.5 at minus 140. I don't like that price very much, but when the 6.5 is revealed, I'll be on that as well. Listen, man, Boston's not playing that well right now either. So I'm with you, man. I don't like taking the side here. Yeah, Boston beat Toronto, but Toronto can't beat that team in the regular season for whatever reason. So, but Philadelphia, man, they scored a bunch of goals on the weekend. They also gave up 5. They're not going to give up, or they're not going to score 7 goals again. But they could definitely give up 5. So I'm right there with you. I'm not taking a side here. I do like, though, on the Philadelphia side, Travis Konechny off to a good start, plus 190. I'm also looking at Owen Tippett, man. That guy was a moneymaker for us last year. I'm looking at him to start stepping up here. He's plus 250 to get a goal tomorrow night, and he is where are we? He is plus 114 to get 4 shots on goal. So he's got to start stepping up here. Owen Tippett, I like his 4+ shots, and I like him to score a goal, but I'm with you. I'll take the over, not the 5.5, but when the 6.5 opens up, I will take that. All right. I actually am excited to watch this next game, and I don't really fully know why. Feels like potential car crash situation. I don't know. My favorite team versus your favorite team. We think it's the Leafs and the Rangers. No. The St. Louis Blues are in Ottawa. I love Ottawa. We all know that. You love St. Louis. We all know that. Plus 126, the St. Louis Blues are on the road in my nation's capital. Minus 152 are the Ottawa Senators at a home, which is obnoxious. The puck line for St. Louis plus 1.5 is minus 196. Minus 1.5 for Ottawa, plus 162. The over is 6.5 at plus 104. The under is minus 128. Linus Allmark was on the bench in the last game against Colorado on Sunday. Not sure if he will be starting this game or not. Andre, what do you got, man? St. Louis and Ottawa. I will give Ottawa this. Lost in Vegas, lost in Colorado. They're scoring a bunch of goals. What do you got in this game?
I want to give a shout out to Jordan because he's just going in the comments, specifically on Toronto and your Leafs. So, JC, we appreciate you for staying up and keeping us humble. As for this game, I think we can just skip the pageantry here. I think we know where we're going on each side as far as picking who's going to win. And when you look at these odds, it doesn't really favor me very well. So I'm going to have to roll the dice here. I'm going to take the puck line. I'm going to expect the Blues to lose by multiple goals in Canada again. They can't hang. I don't know what else to tell you. As far as total, Ottawa very quietly has been going on a run of their offense has been pretty impressive.
It's been great.
Lately, for most of the season. But I mean, 4 goals in their last 3, 5 goals in the game before that, 8 and 2 before that. So the over is looking real good with them. And then the Blues, obviously, they gave up 5 in Montreal. They gave up 3 in a couple games before that. They gave up 4 in games 2 through 4 of their season. So stopping the puck, not exactly going great for them either. You look at these two teams, and getting stops isn't really a given. I like the over a ton in this one. I do expect the final score to favor the Ottawa Senators, though.
Am I reading this right? That both Ottawa and St. Louis are giving up exactly what they're getting? Like Ottawa scoring 3.75 goals per game. They're giving up 3.75 goals per game. St. Louis is scoring 2.89 goals per game. They're giving up 2.89 goals per game. So I do like St. Louis. I do. But all jokes aside, I'm with you on this. The thing that scares me about that puck line is just the fact that Ottawa can't keep pucks out of their own net. Like I do like Ottawa to win this game. I don't like the 60-minute line because who knows. And for the minus 1.5, I'll take it. But I am very leery of it with the fact that they just can't keep pucks out of their own net. What I'm counting on with Ottawa here, you lost to Vegas, you lost to Colorado. Both very good hockey teams. Also, both incredibly winnable games. So now you're playing a team that is not necessarily better than you, but they're not, and they're not that much worse than you, I don't think. But they're not Vegas or Colorado. So you're home now. You're off your road trip. Go in there, get the job done. I'll take the minus 1.5, but that does make me nervous. Just the fact that Ottawa can't. Yeah, so that's my take on it. I just think that they're going to score a bunch of goals. I think the over is the best play in this game. I'm also surprised, like over 6.5 plus money. Kind of surprises me with the way these two defenses operate. So I'll take Ottawa on the puck line. I think they bounce back, but I am a little bit scared of that puck line. And yeah, dude, I think that's Chance actually who's in the chat, which is dope. What up, Chance? Awake on a Monday night? Why not? 1:00 in the morning. Vegas. She's the Vegas writer for Total Apex, and yeah, dude. But like, I don't care who you are, man. Like, you're up 4-3. I've been venting about this all weekend. You're up 4-3. with 3 minutes left, and Vegas covers -1.5. It's unacceptable. I don't care who Vegas is, or I don't care who it is. It's unacceptable. We're moving on. The Seattle Kraken, your Seattle Kraken in Montreal to take on the Montreal Canadiens. This is ridiculous. -144 of the Seattle Kraken in Montreal. Montreal plus 120 after a weekend where they did nothing but win, still getting no respect. -1.5 is plus 176 for the Kraken, plus 1.5 for the Canadians, -215. The over is 6.5 at plus 114, and the under is -140. What do you got? What do you got?
Yeah, there's one thing I really value these days, especially since I don't seem to be getting it from the places I need most. And it's grit, it's heart, it's determination, it's wanting to win. And that's something I see in the Montreal Canadiens, except for when they're playing my New York Rangers. So right off the bat, they're home. They're in Bell Center. They've won the last two. They bounced back from the game nicely. 5-2 win over the Blues, 4-3 over the Flyers, did what they need to do. I think they're going to keep the streak rolling. They got to keep up with the rest of the chaos in the Atlantic Division, right? We talked about it. The mosh pit. Yep. It's live. It's up. And I think, Seattle, they're fine. They're winnable. They're a beatable team. They've been keeping a lot of their opponents into games. They've played a lot of one-goal games, OT games already. Obviously, they blew that first game of the season, followed up with a shootout win. And I think a tight game favors Montreal plus 120 straight to the bank, because this is a game I think the Canadiens win, especially with the way they've been playing lately.
I'm right there with you, man. And I don't see an alternate total up here yet. At least not on FanDuel. The under is -140, under 6.5. I might take that 5.5 when it's like under 5.5 when it becomes available. Both of these goaltenders, if Decord starts and Montembeault starts, both these goaltenders have been pretty good so far this year. They both are below a 3 GAA. I think that this 3-2 game, maybe a 2-1 game, but definitely 3-2 game, I can see it. I'll take the under 5.5 when it becomes available. I'll take Montreal to win as well. Seattle, they have a better chance of making the playoffs than Montreal does long term. I believe that. But Montreal is playing really hard right now. They're playing really well. They fell flat on their face against your Rangers last week, and they've done nothing but win since. So I'm taking Montreal plus money. Also, Cole Caulfield, my guy, scoring every night. He is plus 155 to score. And for Seattle, Jared McMahon, same thing. Not McMahon. I'm watching the McMahon documentary, so that's where my brain is right now. McCann plus 200 to score for Seattle tomorrow night. All right, moving on to where, can't believe it's 1 a.m. Anaheim Ducks are in New York. This game is going to be awful. The New York Islanders -235. We're not sponsored by Long Island or Anaheim, so we can say whatever we want. -235 are the Islanders at home. Plus 190 are the Ducks on the road. Plus 1.5 is -134, while -1.5 for the Islanders is plus 112. Over 5.5 is -132, while the under is plus 108. Andre, what do you got? Juggernaut.
I love that the Islanders are playing another uninspiring team, because I can just make this very simple. I can just look at their little wheel of how are we going to play tonight, and they're due for a win. They're due for a good performance. So Islanders, they lost last time out 6-3. Time before that was a 4-3 win. Time before that was they broke the shutout streak. That every other game they get shut out. They broke that.
Yeah.
Right? But they still have the alternating wins and losses going. So I like that in this game. At least 4 goals from them. I'm going to pull up their over 3.5 right now. but give me that. Maybe I'll take a risk on the puck line. It is the Ducks. I don't know. Probably would take the over in this one. But Islanders puck line, uh, it's still plus money for you? Question mark. I just clicked away from it, so I'm assuming it is for me.
Plus 112, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I still have plus money also. I have their over 3.5 goals right now at minus 130. So not the best odds. Not as good as the Minnesota Wilds, but that's what they've been doing. Offense is just hot and cold. It's the Katy Perry song. So sticking with it.
What a great tune. Love that record. That reminds me, you talk about Katy Perry, going back to Justin Bieber for a sec. This was put in the chat a long time ago. Our guy Jordan was talking about instant Leafs loss with Bieber. Dude, Bieber's a legend. What do you got against Bieber, man? The guy writes nothing but hits. What's your problem? And I know someone's going to say he doesn't write his own songs. I fact checked, so we can talk about this at another time. But Bieber, what's the matter? He's not 13 anymore. He's a grown man. He's got some issues. We're learning some stuff about him, but hey, you know what? Don't we all? All right.
Wasn't expecting that from you tonight. The Bieber defense squad.
I'm about it, dude. What's the called? A believer?
What song got you hooked? Yeah, you're a believer.
I'm a believer, dude. 100% I am. 100% I am. All right. I didn't expect that from myself tonight either. Moving on. So the only way, if you are going to bet the Islanders to win this game, the only way to do it, as far as an actual side goes, is to bet the puck line. The 60-minute line's minus 150. The money line's minus 235. If you're going to bet them to win, you're betting the puck line. I don't have it available here for me yet, but I would look at their goal total. And I'm assuming if it's 3.5, you're probably not getting a very good price on that either, because Anaheim is getting smoked every night, man. Like Anaheim, as much as I don't like the Islanders, don't trust the Islanders, Anaheim is not in a good place right now. It's bad. So I do really like the over 5.5 at minus 132. I don't love that price when the alternate totals do come up. I'll be taking the over 6.5. I think both teams will probably score here. Can you believe this? I know Zach Hyman's had a really bad start to the season. He's on my fantasy team. I had someone offer me Varlamov for Zach Hyman. Can you believe that nonsense?
Wow,
I can't believe it. I know it's absolutely stunning, but I'll take the Islanders here too, but I love the over more than anything. I think this is a 6-3, 5-3 hockey game all day. So give me the over 6.5. I don't have the odds available to me yet, but when I do, that is what I'll be taking. I'll take the puck line minus 1.5 plus 112, but it is still the Islanders. You know, the Ducks are, they can score when they feel like it. But I do love the over when the 6.5 becomes available. All right, moving on to your guys, the New York Rangers in Washington. Washington plus 116 at home, minus 140 other Rangers on the road, minus 1.5 for New York is plus 180, plus 1.5 for Washington's minus 220. The over is 5.5 at minus 134, and the under is plus 110. Andre, you need a win, bro. You need a win. It's been a tough night for you, bro. You need a New York win. What do you got tomorrow night?
Yeah, well, I already parlayed the Rangers money line in this game with the Yankees money line, so get that out the way already. Money's down.
Money line?
Huh?
Tomorrow night's money line or tonight's money line?
Yeah,
okay.
No, tomorrow's. It's locked in for tomorrow. I guess it's today already.
Got you.
Unless you're in Anaheim or something. But I don't think we have much Anaheim viewership. I don't know where Chris Letang is right now. I know he watches every day, but that's besides the point. Huge shout out to you, Chris Letang. Huge fan. I mean, there's a part of me, right, that's like, Washington's going to be motivated after we swept them last year. Pretty much dominated them. They did play us well in the regular season too. We lost both games when we went to DC. Um, at the same time, the Rangers are just playing so well, and that's not bias at all. Besides the Panthers game, besides that weird game with Utah at the very beginning of the season, the Rangers have been dominant.
They have.
And I just, I don't think the Capitals have enough to beat the Rangers. And again, they're good enough where I could be wrong. The Capitals have been finding ways to win this year. They have looked pretty good. They deserve that much credit, but they lost 3-0 last time out. They got blanked by the Lightning, a good team. They played the Devils. It was a win. It was an OT win. It's another good team. 1-goal win over the Stars. Again, you got the dub. Not convincing over a good team. I just, maybe taking advantage of the schedule just a little bit. Not as good as their record reflects right now. I don't expect the Capitals to be however many points percentage. I should probably know this off the top of my head. 714 points percentage for the entire season. So I'm gonna take the Rangers money line at good enough to put in a parlay at -140. If you want to make it a standalone, you might have to take a little bit of risk, 16-minute line or whatever. I would actually stay away from the puck line here. I think Washington can. They've been playing tight games. They keep it close. I think they're good enough to do that.
Yeah.
But the 16-minute lines, if you want to standalone, is probably the best way to do this one. As far as a total, I'd probably lean under. I just like what both teams do defensively more. I trust both teams defensively more. But it's one of those games where I feel like it could go either way. True coin flip. As far as the play style, I can see it being 3-1. I can see it being, 5-3. So Rangers money line, keep it simple, stupid. I already have coin on it. And that's that.
I'm not surprised that the Rangers are favored. I am a little bit surprised at how juicy the price is, though, -140. Washington's had a really good start to the season. All things considered, right? I know they've had some, stinkers. Every team has them. But I'm a little bit surprised -140. My assumption is right now it's 1:12 in the morning on the East Coast. My assumption is by the time the puck drops, this is going to be in the 30s, maybe even the 20s. I that's my personal opinion. And when it is, I will take the Rangers money line. I'm with you though. My favorite play here is absolutely the under 5.5 +110. I love those odds. Shesterkin is Shesterkin, even if Quick gets the start, which I don't think he will, but even if he does, he's had a really good start to the season. And dude, Charlie Lindgren's played really well. His save percentage is a little bit bloated right now, but his goals against is 2.5 the last I checked. He's played really well too. So I love the under here, 5.5 at +110. I don't like the puck line for the Rangers. I don't like the price right now of the money line. Again, if it goes down to the low 30s or even the 20s, I'll take it. And the 60-minute line, I'm right there with you. That kind of scares me as well. So my favorite play here all day is the under 5.5 at +110. Before we move on to the last game of the night, I have to complain about the schedule. I'm not a schedule maker. I know Andre's called me out before on it. It's a tough job, blah, blah, blah. It's not my job, so I don't care how tough it is. The first game of the night, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, 7:08. Philly, Boston, 7:09. St. Louis, Ottawa, 7:10. Seattle, Montreal, 7:11. Anaheim, Islanders, 7:12. Rangers, Washington, 7:40. That's our stagger on a Tuesday night. That's the stagger we're doing. And then one game in the evening. And it's not even a good game. It's Los Angeles and San Jose. That's all I guess it's a good game, I suppose. But we just saw this game a couple days ago. These two teams literally just played. I don't know. It bothers me. It just bothers me, man. It's a Tuesday night. My kid goes to bed. I want to watch some hockey, and this is my only option. LA and San Jose. I don't know. It bothers me. And It's salt in the wound. It's salt in the wound when there is a stagger. It's just by 1 minute. Like that's the salt in the wound. That's just like, you know what I mean? That's a tease. Like, all right, Mark, we're gonna stagger him. How's this? Do you complain about stagger? How about this? 708, 709, 710, 711. Like it's frustrating. But anyway, really doesn't matter whatsoever, but it bothers me, so I'm going to talk about it. The LA Kings are in San Jose. Minus 260 are the Kings on the road. Plus 210 are the Sharks at home. Minus 1.5 for the Kings is minus 102. Plus 1.5 for the Sharks is minus 118. The overs 5.5 at minus 142. Under 5.5 at plus 116. I know we've already seen totals like this, but I guess it's on its way to being 6.5, but over 5.5 at minus 142. Just bump it to 6.5 already and get it over with. But here we are. Andre, what do you got, man? The game of the night. I take it back. I'm sorry. Game of the night. Los Angeles Kings, San Jose Sharks. What do you got?
I'm glad you had some respect because, I mean, one of these teams is on a winning streak.
That's true.
It started tonight. Huge. Yeah. I guess both teams are on a winning streak. The Kings have 1-2 in a row. But we don't talk about them. We don't respect them. We respect San Jose Sharks hockey in this household, though. And they did not lose 10 games in a row to start this season. Just like Nostradamus predicted. Don't worry about what I was doing with approximately 5 minutes left in their game tonight. These games between these teams just are always tight. They're always low scoring.
Always. I agree.
Not even trying to pump up the baby Sharks right now, but 3-2 a few days ago, 2-1 in their last meeting last year, 4-3 shootout win for the Sharks in January. Then they got a couple Kings blowouts and then a few more one-goal games before that. The point being, LA doesn't get that separation that you'd expect against this Sharks team, and the Sharks are coming back home. The Sharks are coming off their first win of the season. They're feeling good. They had a great comeback. They're going to be excited to be back on the ice for a second night in a row. Plus 1.5. It's pretty good odds. They suck. Vegas doesn't expect much from them. And you know what? It's time to take advantage of that. Minus 120, you're not getting better than that. We don't hit plus 1.5 often, or we don't take plus 1.5 often.
No.
When we do, they usually hit. Look at Columbus tonight. We were both all over that. Columbus smoked the Oilers. There's a reason to take that plus 1.5 sometimes, especially when it's a team you're overlooking. This is one of those times. Sharks keep it tight, low-scoring game. Maybe they come away with the win, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself there. I'm just proud they got one tonight. Shout out to you, Wenberg, Zutterland, Toffoli, Celebrini, all of you. Shout out to you.
Did we take Chicago plus 1.5, or did we take Colorado?
Unfortunately, we took Colorado.
We did,
because Chicago was, they were letting everyone score tonight, or not tonight, for tonight.
Yeah, true. I couldn't remember. That was a long time ago, man. That was like today, like early on today. That's a long time ago in my world. I'm right there with you, man. I might convince myself to take this money line by the time the puck drops. Sure, it's the Sharks. I get it. But you know what? The Kings aren't stopping pucks really at all right now. And the last time these two teams played, I ended up watching a bunch of this game. I actually might have watched this entire game for some reason. And the Kings dominated the first period. I believe they went up 3-0 in the first period, and it was pretty much all Sharks for the rest of the night. So I'll take that plus 1.5 and minus 118, and I might tempt myself into taking a little money line action plus 210 by the time the puck drops. I don't see him here. Oh my gosh. Mikael Granlund, this guy is scoring every night, dude. He's plus 330 to score tomorrow night. He leads the team in goals. He's plus 330. I'm going to have to do a little goal scoring parlay right now. plus 330 for Granlund to score. I'm about it. Tyler Toffoli, that guy loves scoring goals. He's plus 210. Trevor Moore for the Kings. He hasn't got cooking yet. He's plus 220. Lots of good odds on goal scorers. Pretty long odds for goal scorers in this one, but I like the Sharks plus 1.5 as well. All right, wrapping up this show late on a Monday, early on a Tuesday. Let's move on to our best bets, brought to you by the one, the only First Round Collectibles. Right now with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off tons of cards. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of regular price items, but sales items as well. Go over to firstraundcollectibles.com today. Tell them we sent you with our promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. That's firstraundcollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans. Andre, what is your best bet tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm in a kind of a pickle here. There's a lot of good ones that I'm looking at. I feel like the over in Pittsburgh's always a good option. So that one's kind of – I feel like I'm going to take it, but I feel like I don't want the magic to break. You know, it's one of those things. So I think – I don't think. I know.
No.
I'm going with the over in Ottawa. Over 6.5. I have it at plus 105 right now between the Senators and the Blues. The Senators are allowing 3.75 goals per game, the fifth most in the NHL this season. That's before today's stats updated, but that's not my job. That's the NHL's job. St. Louis gave up 5 goals in their last game. They gave up 3 goals. The Toronto game happened. The 2 games before that, they gave up 3. They gave up 4 in 3 straight games at the very beginning of the season. So they have good goaltending numbers as a whole, but I mean, they're feast or famine when it comes to what happens in the net. The Senators giving up a ton of goals, scoring a ton of goals. You look at their games, 3 of the last 4, 4 of the last 6 finished over the total and pretty comfortably at that. All those games had at least 9 goals. So they're back home. They're scoring. They're giving up goals. Their games, kind of like Pittsburgh, but not to the same extent, have been high scoring. I'm going to roll with that over 6.5 all this plus money.
I absolutely love it. We must have thousands of people watching us right now because as soon as you said that, they took the total off my board on FanDuel. It's off the board now. It's locked. So we must have people just pouring in over bets on that one. I don't love it as a best. You know what? No, you know what? I do love it. Forget it. I've been doing this way more than I thought. If you asked me in September during training camp, if you set the over under for how many times I would take the Montreal Canadiens as a best bet for the entire season, I'd probably set it at like 2.5. And we're already over. I'm already over. Because I'm taking the Montreal Canadiens again tomorrow night at home at the Bell Center, like you said, against the Seattle Kraken. Plus 118 now are the Canadiens at home, and I absolutely love it. We talked about this game already. Both of us think that the Canadiens are going to win. This Canadian team, they play hard, they fight hard, they work hard. They got pumped last week by the Rangers, and once there was a little chatter about Martin St. Louis getting fired, this team smartened up and promptly beat the brakes off their next 2 opponents. Got a little dicey against Philly on Sunday, but they ended up locking it down, and they ended up winning the game. So, Montreal Canadiens plus 118. I love it.
I love it too. I'm right there with you. We agreed on a lot of stuff tonight, I'm realizing.
We did.
Yeah.
I agree. As far as a family play goes, I know you didn't want to get rid of the Magic or whatever the heck it is you said, but Minnesota, Pittsburgh over 6.5. We both really, really like that play.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard to go wrong with the Pittsburgh over right now.
And Minnesota's scoring goals too, man. It's not just that Pittsburgh's giving a bunch up. Like Minnesota's scoring.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
What do you have that total as right now?
It's 6.5 at plus 100.
Yeah. I also have 6.5. I have minus 102, but pretty much the same thing. My parlay is plus 809 for that. Over 6.5 in Blue Senators, plus 105. Canadians money line, plus 124. Over 6.5 in Wild at Penguins, minus 102. It's plus 809 on DraftKings.
So what was the total that you had? 6.5, right? For the Ottawa St. Louis. Yeah, so for whatever reason, the halves are taken off the board right now. I only have flat lines, but over 7 is plus 176. So the odds are better, but if you get the over 6.5, then of course there's no push. Where if they hit right on the 7, then it is a push. So that's just kind of the way that it is. I'm plus 1103. But that is with the over 7 for Ottawa, St. Louis, not 6.5. But again, if you're watching this on Tuesday, they more than likely will have those odds up. So it'll be a little bit different. Awesome, bro. Good show, man. We should do this at an ungodly hour more often.
Yeah. Let's wait for a little misery every night and then just rip it.
Yeah, you needed an outlet on a New York sports night like this one. You needed an outlet. Well, everybody, thank you so much for spending the remainder of your evening with us. We appreciate it. Be sure to come back on Wednesday as we break down what happens tomorrow night and talk through Wednesday night's games. FirstRoundCollectibles.com, promo code SportsAddict, and of course, TotalApexSports.com. We appreciate you. We'll see you on Wednesday.